Welcome to another video. So this video is about 5 things Chinese people can't stand about foreigners.
Hey, Zhongguo. It's time for us to talk about the 5 things that Chinese people hate the most about foreigners. Now, it's been a week since my last video. I got a lot of good feedback from my Chinese subscribers and of course Chinese viewers. So I've compiled a list and we're going to go through them. Not in any particular order, however, we are going to speak about the most common one, the most common comment first. And that is that foreigners are arrogant and have a superiority complex. Now, by arrogant and superior, what they mean is that Westerners like to impose their morals, their way of thinking and their point of view onto other people, other countries and other societies. And you know, you have this very sort of well-meaning international community, which is basically made up of the sort of mainstream mass media, usually coming out of the US, the UK and Europe. And they like to put forward these sort of popular images of what's going on in different countries. And of course, it doesn't always reflect what's actually happening on the ground. And it can be quite infuriating and quite insulting if you're seeing things in the news describing you as a country or as a people as being X, Y, and Z, when that's not actually the case. And I can speak from absolute experience here, you know, being South African. You know, the kind of nonsense that when I was growing up, people were saying about us white South Africans is appalling, you know. If you grew up outside of South Africa, you probably think all white South Africans are sort of racist, privileged people who took advantage of the local population in order to live a wealthy, fantastic life with a silver spoon in your mouth. But, you know, that's absolute nonsense. It's mendacious. You know, it's the furthest thing from the truth. And a lot of that can be reflected in what's said about China. Number 2, cultural ignorance. Okay, I've got to admit that when I first came to China, I was guilty of this myself. Although I do try to be polite, you know, I'll be completely honest, I didn't do my due diligence and I didn't really look into the Chinese culture that much. And this is the thing, you know, it's easy to judge another culture and another people, but you first at least have to try to understand the culture. And so what happens is you'll get situations where just very basic things, which could be avoided, misunderstandings and rude comments or rude behavior, perceived rude behavior happens just because of a misunderstanding of the culture. I mean, things like, you should take your shoes off before you walk into a Chinese person's house. You know, this is something I didn't know. You know, and you come here, you get invited to someone's house, you walk in and you basically walk in with your shoes on. That's a big no-no. Things like asking stupid questions like, you know, do you have air conditioning in your home in China? Of course they do. If they live in the city, you know, it's all got all the modern amenities. Hey, how's it going? I've just spotted a subscriber. Hey.
Hey, Winston.
How you doing?
Great, how are you?
Very good, thanks.
What a beautiful park.
It's really cool, huh?
Yeah, wonderful.
Yeah.
Brand new, I guess.
Yeah, it is. It's about a year old.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm just making a video about, you know, the 5 things Chinese people dislike about foreigners.
Ah, okay.
So it's kind of like it.
Don't tell me you're number 1.
Yeah, pretty much. Cool. Number 3 is that foreigners are sexually promiscuous and play around and are too open. I hear this a lot about foreigners being too open. Of course, a lot of this is based on the fact that the only exposure to the West that a lot of Chinese people have had are through American TV shows like Sex and the City, Friends, Two Broke Girls. It's one of their favorites for some reason. You know, these kind of American TV shows which do portray foreigners as being these sort of very loose and open individuals. And of course, not all foreigners are like that, but it's difficult for people that are in a closed-off society like China to actually understand that. Don't forget that there's still a lot of control over the media here. Things like pornography are completely banned. Anything that's seen as lewd or crude, it's cut out of the TV. Obviously, the internet's completely blocked off. So, you know, when they see these TV shows, of course, they get this idea that foreigners are incredibly lewd and rude and open. Now, whether that be true or not, because of course it is for some people, sex education really is an issue in China. It is a problem. There isn't much sex education here. In fact, I think they do have sex education, but only in like college. So by the time people are in their 20s, they're first learning about sex. Of course, by then, I think they've probably figured it out by themselves anyway. But the thing is, there is a lot of taboo around sex. And so, of course, it's not the same for Westerners. And because we're a bit more open about this, we're seen as some kind of sexually promiscuous sex fiends or something like that. I feel really awkward talking about this when there's all these children around. So let's move on to number 4. Number 4 is bad budgeting and very poor concept of managing money. And I'm actually going to agree 100% with this. Hello. Yeah, so I'm going to agree with this because it's true. Most Chinese people that I know are very good at saving money. They always seem to have money available for when they want to buy something. You know, even if they're... What are you saying? That sounds pretty bad. Yeah, what are you saying? Okay, yeah. 没事没事. Yeah, okay. So anyway, when it comes to money, I was surprised when I first got here that even your sort of very low income earners always seem to have money in the bank. And I mean, not just a small amount of money, but a reasonable amount of money, a reasonable sum. So this has always been sort of a cultural thing that I've appreciated about China, and I still continue to appreciate. Unfortunately, these days, you're starting to see people make a lot of mistakes, wasting their money on things like bad investments, like the stock market, or wasting their money on, you know, sort of frivolous peer-to-peer lending schemes and things like that, which sucks. I hate to see that. And the rise of credit is really kind of doing away with this really sort of cool money management thing that I've noticed from the beginning here. However, I could still say that by and in large, Chinese people are very good with money. Maybe a bit too good, maybe a bit too sort of penny pincher, if you know what I mean. Number 5 is drug use and drug culture. A couple of comments about this one. Now, drug taking is a lot more accepted in the West. You'll have sort of A-list celebrities who go to rehab and have drug addiction problems and things, and people still love the celebrities, you know, and just kind of say, oh, they're struggling and they're going through this period, and then, you know, they bounce back, etc. But here, if a Chinese star has any kind of a drug issue, even if they're suspected of taking drugs of any kind, their careers are over, and permanently. There's huge hang-ups when it comes to drugs here in China. And of course, then, as a result, Chinese people see the sort of casual smoking of marijuana that a lot of Americans or Canadians and, you know, people in the West do, and the casual sort of acceptance of drug use as being a big issue and one of the things they really hate about foreigners. So that brings us to the end of the list. Of course, these are the 5 most common things that Chinese people can't stand about foreigners, but there are plenty more, just as there are plenty more things foreigners can't stand about Chinese people. But I do hope that we can find some kind of an understanding between, you know, both the West and the East here, meet somewhere in the middle, and basically realize that at the end of the day, we're all human beings and we're all just trying to get along in this crazy world. Now, that being said, I would like to quickly tell you about something fantastic. Guys, our series is out. Go check it out. This is ridiculously good. Sea Milk and I going up the West Coast in my Corvette, trying the best, most authentic Chinese food in America. Are you kidding me? Go check it out. If you don't check it out, you're going to be so disappointed because you're missing out. Even if you don't like food, even if you don't like me, you should still go check it out because there's something in there for everybody. Go support your Chinese fellow people in America by watching this show. Go and support me, Sea Milk, and Western people by going and watching this show. Go and support life by going and watching this show. Go watch it now. Tell me what you think, because I'm super proud of what Sea Milk and I have been able to pull off here. And we hope that you, like us and like everybody in this park, as always, stay awesome. Oh, by the way, and If you want to know a little bit about the Chinese New Year, since it's just about to happen, my wife did a quick little video, quick plug, go check it out, show her some love. Thanks guys, see you around.